Good afternoon, everybody. This is Stacy from the Commercial Agency Division. We're just going to wait for a few more people to get signed in here, and then we will get started with the presentation. So please hold for just a few more minutes. Thank you. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome to the October installment of Back to the Basics, where we are going to learn about updating drivers and shipments using SVLOnline.com. With us today we have John Flanagan for his monthly safety minutes, and we also have Jim Welsh from Operations to also discuss the updating drivers and shipments. As with every webinar, if you have any questions, please type those in the question box, and we will answer those on the air at the end of the presentation. We're going to begin here with John Flanagan and his safety minute.
I'm going to talk a little bit about a growing pattern we're seeing out on the highway, and that is vehicle maintenance issues. Historically, we've been better than average compared to the average over-the-road fleet as far as passing vehicle inspections. We're not going to talk about driver logs today. This is going to be focused on vehicles. And our vehicles historically have done well. In the last few months, however, our vehicle out of service rate, that means where the vehicle cannot be moved until it's fixed, has increased substantially with a trailing rate of 15%, which is much better than the national average. We're now at about 22%, and in the most recent months, over 30%. Recently, AMSA held a symposium in San Antonio, Texas, and Bruce Anthony, the head maintenance rep from Kentucky Trailer, gave us some tips about things that you can do with your vehicles. Since 99% of our trailers are Kentucky trailers, this is a good source. This is just an excerpt from the entire presentation. I am going to put the entire presentation online, though. We'll put it on SVL Info. A lot of this applies to tractors and straight trucks as well, so pay attention. This should be done every day by your drivers or your operations personnel at your agency location, your daily pre-trips. Also, we have the twice a year, 6-month inspections. Most household good carriers, including Stevens, require 2 DOT inspections a year. But the eyes and ears are the drivers in the front in the units every day. One of the big things is automatic slack adjusters. In the old days, geezers like myself used to go on and adjust their own brakes. Well, those days are gone. Automatic slack adjusters have been with us for about 20 years, and they're not easily adjustable by the average person, even most drivers. So you have to wonder, since brakes are the #1 violation, how do I keep my trailer brakes and all the other parts of the trailer in line? The question is not, does the trailer pass the DOT, but will it make it till the next inspection? We have to think about maintenance intervals. So, first thing you need to do is find a competent facility for DOT and trailer repairs. At the agent convention, we're going to have some representatives there that can give you some additional resources. But if you have a good shop, by all means use it. If you don't, contact our office. We can certainly put you on the right road to one. Now, the other thing is, a lot of our operators seem to do the repairs and they wait until something goes wrong. They wait till it breaks or wears out. Scheduled intervals are much better. So, do you have enough tire or tread depth or brake line to make it 6 months? If not, when will you do it? Use that service center that you have chosen, has the right parts and the right equipment, and most importantly, the right mechanics that know how to fix these vehicles. At least once a month, the driver should do an underneath inspection of the truck. Look at the trailer from front to rear, starting underneath. You might invest in an inexpensive creeper and a strong flashlight. That's not a lot of money to do these inspections. Here's an example of a completely rusted out landing gear. That's off of a Kentucky trailer. Other trailer inspection. Look at the belly box bracing. Here the outside of the belly box looks fine, but you can see it's been dragged over something. Also, you don't want to have exposed hanging wires or hoses. They're going to get snagged, or they're going to break or catch on something. How about tires? We are seeing an incredible number of tires that have insufficient tread. Look at these. The inside tire often escapes a cursory examination. Make sure your hoses are not rubbing on top of the axles. The longer they sit there, they're just going to rub a hole right through it, and you're going to have an air leak. How about slack adjusters? Unless you are a trained, certified brake mechanic, you are prohibited by federal regulations from adjusting brakes. If the driver is comfortable with it, they do need to be trained. Next slide. Make sure lug nuts are tight. Something else you can look for. Easily visible, and something that's dangerous if it fails. Don't forget to check the oil cap on your hub for leaks, proper fluid levels, and make sure the oil in the axle is not contaminated. We've had a spate of trailer axle fires this year from insufficient or contaminated axle oil, and they can cause catastrophic losses. How about your lights? Brakes, lights, and tires, the BLT sandwich of maintenance. Check for crack marker light lenses, wires that are exposed or loose. And if the light is on the unit, the DOT says it has to work. How about the top edges of the roof? As you can see on the one on the right here, having left the roof not maintained for a while allowed a crack to form in the roof. And what's that going to cause? It's going to cause a leak. And the leak is going to cause mold, and the mold is going to cause a big claim. So this is all things that we can use, can be aware of. And this just doesn't take any fancy tools. It just takes a good walk around, a good observation. Think of your image. Think of what the inspector will see at eye level when you go through the scale. The DOT calls them observable defects. If your DOT bar is bent, the wheel caps that are leaking, belly box latches that are missing or broken, or even worse, secured with bungee cords, cracked wheel-to-wheel fairings on the tractor. Here's another one that I've seen, movers tape used to secure mirrors and other tractor trailer parts. That's not an appropriate fix. Tire tread depth. These deficiencies need to be repaired immediately. It's your image. That's all I have for everyone today. If you have any questions, you can reach me at flanagan@stevensworldwide.com or extension 380. I'm hoping to see lots of you at the convention. We are going to have lots of safety and maintenance items, and we're going to get everybody pulling in the right direction on on vehicle safety. So keep your vehicles maintained, do your daily and periodic inspections, and reinforce this stuff with your drivers. It's something you should talk about every day in your safety minute. Thank you, Stacy.
John, really quick, I believe fall inspections are due November 1st.
That is correct. I sent a reminder out, I think it was yesterday or the day before.
Excellent. So perfect reminder, if you do not have your fall inspections in, get them in before November 1st or those units will be suspended. And we don't want to run the risk of not getting loads on those units. We will now move on to the portion of our webinar where we're going to go through updating drivers and shipments using SVLOnline.com. You all should have received the YouTube link for the video. Hopefully everybody enjoyed that laughter, and thank you, John Flanagan, for being our star in this month's video. I'm going to turn it over to Jim Welsh for this slide, and so he can give you some of the benefits of updating the Stevens system. Jim?
Thank you, Stacy. Well, I do want to follow up on a couple of things what John was talking about. I did have the opportunity to be with John last week in San Antonio, Texas, for an AMSA Operations Committee meeting, which I think there was about 80 movers there, which was a great turnout. I will tell you that the meeting primarily focused 90% on CSA scores. And we will really be talking about this a lot at the convention. But without a doubt, it is in everyone's upper 2% in the moving industry. And vehicle inspections, along with logs, are the two basic areas that Stevens Van Lines continues to have problems with. So the things that John talked about today with the vehicle inspections, you know, you can't just wait to have it inspected when it hits the scale. And what we're finding out is that the vehicles are repeat offenders. And we will have a program put together internally here to be working with those with the repeat offenders. But the log issues and the vehicle inspections and out of services are really hurting our basics. The other part of the meeting zeroed and focused in on EOBRs, electronic onboard recorders, which basically are your electronic logs. And I will tell you that I spent a great deal of my time there talking with counterparts in our industry, and the number one question I asked them was, what was the pushback from your veteran drivers on this? Because we all know that today's the independent owner operators, kind of like the last romantic cowboys, you know, the reason they're in that truck is they do not like to have the structured office setting and go all over the country. So the bottom line is, once they got that EOBR in there with the smartphone, they wouldn't go back to paper logs. That's how impressed they are with it. It minimizes and releases a lot of stress that they had over the log updates and pulling over to scale and making sure all the I's were dotted and the T's were crossed. So EOBRs are coming. We right now have about 20 units with them installed and having some great success with it. So we'll be talking about that at the convention also. That being said, let me go on with the topic today. Stacy's giving me this, come on, Jim, thing. So this is something here that is very close to, really, it's one of our top two, what we're going to call our business strategies in central operations in 2013. The first is for all of our dispatchers to have all of their units updated properly, on time, consistently, every day in the system. So all team members, not just within central operations, agents, administrative individuals in your offices, move centers, customer service representatives have good, solid information to be communicating with the customer. Also with an accurate and current update we're able to optimize utilization of the capacity that's out there. I will tell you that I just prepared a slide that I'll be presenting at the AAC meeting this week. We have 98 agent units out there that are basically invisible to us in central operations. What do I mean by invisible? Basically, we don't see them. And many times, the only way we're aware of them is you will call us and say, hey, it's Monday, my truck's going to be empty in Phoenix on Thursday. What do you got for it? That's not enough time to be planning a backhaul load for your driver that's out there. In today's high-tech world, it's virtually irresponsible on all of our parts not to know where all of our available capacity is. And that's, if you want to define capacity here, it's called, we have our agent perm and headquarter perm and committed drivers that dispatch central operations dispatch 100%. Then you have our agent long haul drivers that our agents are dispatching, that our agents should be updating on SVLOnline. And then we have all this other capacity out there, those other 98 units. They could be straight trucks that, it's unbelievable how many straight trucks are going 1,000 miles and then deadheading back to the agent's facility. So besides our dispatchers updating all of our van cars and drivers' trips in 2013, the other strategy is that we have to have all of our agents on board to update on SVLOnline. I know myself personally, I tried to keep track of 28 different agents' trucks this summer. And I want to brag, but I'm pretty damn good at operations in terms of dispatching and understand where trucks are at and utilizing the capacity. But for the life of me, I couldn't get the type of information I needed in terms of where the truck was at, when it was going to be there, what was the weight in cubes on that truck, what date did you deliver the shipment, did you deliver it to residence or SIT, did you have an SIT number and did you put it in the system? Just could not get that type of information. And when you're in an environment such as we function on a daily basis here at headquarters, we have many, many move coordinators and customer service folks, not just in Saginaw, but around the country, working with information or working with lack of information directly with that customer. It's pretty embarrassing when the move coordinator, the customer service rep calls the customer and says, how's our driver doing for you today? And the customer says, what driver? The driver's not here. But yet the system wasn't updated properly, or then the shipment was not dead reckoned and put into the proper 06 status. So this is, we understand this is a huge education process, but it's not an impossible task. We have the technology to do this. In some regards, I almost like the SVLOnline better than I do what we have inside internally in what we call the green screen here. So you're going to see some screens here, and we'll be talking about this. What's the purpose of all this? We're in business to provide total customer satisfaction. If we can't do that, we need to move on and change careers. But without the proper communication, and that's not just verbally, it's updating the systems that we have in place. We have some great, outstanding tools in place that Stevens high-tech folks have developed in order to enhance our communication and to move the process of information to all parties involved. We just need to utilize them, hold ourselves accountable for training our folks, and to hold them accountable for using the tools. That's what we're lacking here. Sending emails to a dispatcher. Let me paint the picture a little better for you. Let's say a dispatcher has 20 to 25 drivers they're talking to. That is a lot of communication with a lot of shipments at any given point in time they're dealing with. They're dealing with an average of 100 customers. that are on those trucks. 100 customers that have different needs, different service expectations, delivery dates, pickup dates, split orders. There is a lot that dispatcher is dealing with. So and as an agent, if you think by just going in the system and going in the system notes and typing a gross and tear and net and on the registration number, that dispatcher cannot deal with 500 notes on a daily basis. That's virtually impossible. That's what they call information overload. And that's why we have these tools in place so that the system is updated automatically. If you're going to type it in an email or going to type it in the notes, jump on SVLOnline. I'm not supposed to sit at the table. Jump on SVLOnline and update the driver. Now there's your cue, Stacy, to move me on to the other slide.
All right. I will take over from here.
Oh, no. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I'll give you another opportunity at the end, Jim, if there are any questions that arise.
Thank you.
All right. So to update your drivers in the system, you just need to log into your account as you normally would using SVLOnline.com. And then you will click on Driver Call-In Status. From here, you will click on the unit number that you're looking to update. And then this is the screen that you will get. So if you look over to the right-hand side, from here you will update where the driver is at the time you are updating the system, where his or her next point of contact is, his or her current status, and how many available cubes he or she has left. And then I've also put the status drop-down box there so you can see all of the available statuses to put that driver in. Once you've updated that, then you're going to make sure you hit Save Changes down at the bottom. Seems fairly simple here. Like Jim said, if you're going to type an email or put a note in the system, it's pretty simple to fill in the boxes here for the information that they're asking.
I've talked to many agents that have said, Jim, the information that your dispatchers put in the system is wrong. It forced me to tell a customer the wrong information. And the pain that's associated with that is just unbelievable for the salesperson as well as the customer. So correct information is just imperative for us to provide TCS.
All right. You can also update the shipments that the driver has on board. So from the main menu, you're going to click on Load Delivery Update. Again, you will click on the unit number to bring up a listing of shipments that are assigned to that driver.
Stacy? So then this is the driver's trip, correct?
No, this is the listing of all of their available units. Once you click on that unit number,
there you go.
Then it brings up a listing of those shipments that the driver has on board. So from here, then you will click on the shipment that you want to update. And this is the screen that you will get. If you go through each column, you can see, what information that you can update. Be sure to update the weight, the actual load date, etc. Once the shipment is delivered, be sure to update the actual delivery date and the resident's delivery address, especially if it says will advise as in the example. If you see down on the bottom left-hand side, it says resident's delivery, we should never deliver to a will advise. If that driver is delivering to residents, I'm sure he has an address, so there's no reason that it can't be put into the system. This will also help when we here send out all of the QC cards on the shipments after they're delivered. A lot of times we're sending out to a will advise address, and guess what? That QC card doesn't get to that customer. When you're updating a DP3 shipment that goes into SIT, you must update the destination SIT control number. If you have any notes that need to be entered or added to the shipment, you can enter them in the notes section. And then once you're done here inputting any information that you have available, You know, you can fill out your destination crew ETA, what time you're going to arrive, you know, all of that information. So as soon as you fill it out, just go ahead and click the update button, and that will flag the system internally here.
Stacy, I need to jump in there. From my first-hand knowledge experience of working with our agents trying to update their drivers, here are some of the top obstacles that I always ran into in getting information. We have too many agents waiting for the driver to finish the trip and send all the paperwork together overnight. And then somebody opens up in the office and they decide to update the system. That information that we could have used a week ago now is useless to us. So the ability, then the information flow is so important for us to understand where your trucks are at, where the capacity is, and to build in discipline within the system. The central operations, we have established smartphones with all of our dispatchers and a time management schedule in terms of how they are to communicate with all of their drivers, from time zones to loading first per time zone, delivering per time zone, and then in transit per time zone. And the reason being is we want all of our drivers out there used to having to communicate and being held accountable to communicate with where they're at, what they're doing, and what's been accomplished, and to be proactive in terms of what they need to do down the road within the trip. So if you're waiting a week until your driver sends all the paperwork in, that tells me, and I know that for a fact, you may not even be talking to your driver for 2 to 3 days. He's out there by himself just doing his thing. And it backs right up into our customer satisfaction scores. I'm sorry, I don't want to be a downer on a sunny day, but we're here to learn.
That's right. So with that, this is pretty much a short presentation today because they're two simple screens there. So if anybody has any questions, please type those in the question box. As of right now, I don't see any, but we'll hold for just a few seconds here to see if anybody has any questions.
Can they give us a show of hands out there? They can they not, on a webinar like that? If you can click on.
I think you can click on I have a question or something. I think you can raise your hand.
If you can raise your hand, those folks that use SVLOnline on a regular basis and have trained their office staff on how to do that, can you kind of just give me a high five?
All right, there's a few popping up here. That's good. Out of all of our attendees, though, there's only a handful. Haha, get it? Sorry. So that means we have a lot of work to do on getting our agents up to date with using SVLOnline, and that's why we're going and doing these monthly webinars back to the basics so that we can get the agents trained in how to use all of the functions on SVLOnline.com.
But can I ask another question? You know, just so we have like 40 attendees here, so we had like 5 out of 40 that say they actually use it. If those that can lower their hands,
I don't know if they can.
Sure they can. Lower your hands. Come on, I know we're webinar techies. Lower your hands. No?
They're going down, yeah.
Oh, come on, you're getting tired. Lower your hands. Where I'm going with this is that I wanted a show of hands that want to have some special training on SVLOnline, and we'll be happy to get you set up. I'm hoping to see 30, 40 hands. There you go. This is like watching the bingo ball or the lotto. There we go. Well, you know, you always have to have a little fun at your job. But thank you very much for participating.
Hold on, we're not done yet.
We're not done yet.
No.
Oh, what do we got here?
All right. Let's see here. We do have a question. If a driver is wrong or equipment in the system, can we change, or does our dispatcher have to change?
If the driver is what?
If operations assigns a particular shipment to, let's say, Jimmy Smith, but it's actually Joe Smith, then you do not have the ability to do that. Operations would have to do that. So you would have to get a hold of your planner or dispatcher for them to update that information. Okay, any more questions out there? All right. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to email Jim or myself, and we will definitely get back with you. Just a reminder, since this is October, please remember to go to Facebook and like Stevens Pink. And for more information about our partnership with the National Breast Cancer Foundation, make sure you visit StevensPink.com. Our next webinar will be November 21st. Yes, it is the day before Thanksgiving, but we are trying to stay consistent with the third Wednesday of every month. And next month we will be talking about the proper use of addendums and change orders and the proper credit card process.
So let me ask you a question. Since it's the day before Thanksgiving, if people want to send in ahead of time the ingredients for their mother's dressing, we will post that afterwards?
Sure, okay, we can do that. If anybody wants to send in their favorite recipes, send them in and we will get those posted out here. All right, well, again, if you have any questions, please get with us. For those of you that are attending the convention this weekend in Phoenix, we wish you safe travels and hope you learn a lot and have great interaction with everybody out there. Until next month, have a great day and get out there and update your drivers and shipments. Thank you.